Welcome to the next episode of A Musician's Podcast. Today I had the opportunity to interview Rachel McFarlane, who just graduated from Berklee College of Music with 2 degrees, one in gaming music and one in film scoring, which is incredible. So congratulations. And today we're going to talk about what studying at Berklee looks like, what plans she has for the future, and we're gonna look into one project that she scored in her notation software, though I am absolutely unfamiliar with any notation software. In that regard, I only know the DAWs and how to make music there. So this was something entirely new for me, but very interesting. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the episode and let's get right into it.
Okay, cool. Well, my name is Rachel McFarlane. Some people also call me Ray, and I'm a composer for film, concerts, video games as well. And I'm an eighth semester at Berklee College of Music. I started writing when I was around 16 years old, and that was when I got my first commissioned piece for this ensemble in Canada. And before that, I was a violinist, so I still play, and I started that when I was 12 years old. So once I started writing, I realized I preferred that more than performing, and that's why I started seeking out universities and post-secondary schools that focus on composition. And I chose Berklee just because it's really great with scoring technology, and it has a lot of different paths that composers can choose for whether they want to score for concert, score for video games, or score for any type of linear media.
Amazing. So, when did you start playing the violin?
So I started when I was 12, and then it was in just a youth orchestra in Canada. And it was really fun. Like I learned a bunch of theory. I was in like the violin one section, just playing, classical music, Beethoven, um, Mozart, all of that. And it really got me into, I think that's really what sprouted my interest in music.
All right. So, 4 years of violin, and then you realized you want to write the music instead of play it more than playing it. So,
Yeah.
and originally you're from Canada.
Yeah.
So, you came to Berklee College just to study this.
Yes, I've only been in America for like 4 years, and that was only for school. So it's been really
Wow.
fun. I feel like Boston is very diverse because it has so many different schools, and people from all around the world come to Boston for these schools, especially Berkeley. Berkeley is very diverse.
Yeah. And I think it's also a very prestigious music school, right?
Yeah, yeah, it has a lot of credit. Um, I would say it's very prestigious in the sense of um it's more modern than Juilliard or Eastman, just because it focuses more on what's happening in the industry right now. Um and it focuses more on like pop music, country music, jazz especially. It still does a lot of classical things because it does have the Boston Conservatory. But I feel like if you want to be up to date with what is industry standard right now, what everyone's doing in the industry, Berkeley is one of the schools that really gets you prepared for that.
Amazing. And from all the different types of studies that you can choose, what specifically did you choose?
So studied, at first when so I graduated high school in 2020, which was COVID. So during that lockdown year, I knew I wanted to write, but I didn't know if I wanted to just do strictly live performances and live concert or if I wanted to do something else. So during that summer, I took two Berklee online classes. One of them was called High School Composition Intensive, and the other one was called Film Scoring in LA. So the first one, that one more focused on mocking up scores, writing for live instruments, was more classical. And then the film scoring in LA really taught us how to enhance a story with our music and how to use different DAWs and the process of being a composer for film. So doing those two, I realized that I preferred the film scoring in LA program, which is why I just knew right off the bat that I wanted to do film scoring at Berklee. So once I started that, I think it was halfway through or after my freshman year, Berklee opened up a game scoring major. At first it was a minor, but now it's a major. So I loved film scoring so much, but I know that I was just so curious about game scoring and the fact that it's non-linear and what goes into it, and I'm a gamer myself. So I really could not choose which one I wanted, so I just double majored. So now I'm a double major in film scoring and games and interactive media scoring.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's crazy. So it's double the work in the same time, right?
Yes, yes. Some of the classes um are kind of the same, but in general it is double the work. Yeah.
Wow. So that's not not tough. Like it is tough, but
Hmm.
admirable. Like
Oh,
that
thank
you
you.
put so much effort into this is amazing.
Hmm. I honestly I love writing. I feel like people who are not as passionate about writing would find it really hard. But a lot of the things that really comes down to it is speed. Because the industry is very quick and being in the double major, I'm having double the classes. And it's really hard for me to focus on one project and just put all my time in there because I have other classes from the other major. So I've had to learn how to write fast, um, create emotion by using the least amount of instruments as possible, or, think on my toes when there's a recording session coming up in 2 weeks and I have to mock something up. So I think it really has helped me with my speed and also with all the technology that goes into both the majors.
Amazing. How does one recording session, how does it look like? Is it because I imagine in the college there's so many musically talented people studying music that you're doing the recording sessions with other students, or how exactly does that work?
Yeah. So funny enough, I had a recording session, I think it was last week. And we're doing Shrek. And we're rescoring some of the scenes from Shrek. So the process of preparing for a recording session is first you mock up the music, do a piano sketch, then you mock it up in your DAW of what you want the scene to sound like. And sometimes the school provides you with the players. They're students, but they have it all figured out with the instrumentation. But this time we had to scout our own players, which was really fun because, you have some peers and some friends that play the instruments that you need. So,
Mm.
it's really great to be in the community because musicians are everywhere. So you could
Yeah.
just be like, hey, you're a really cool cello player. Like, can you come play at my session? And they love playing at sessions. All the performers love it and they'll do it for free. Sometimes people bring pizza at the end, but it's a really great way to build your network and have a community of players when you need it after you graduate. So after you mock up and you find your players, you make sure to get your Pro Tools session all cleaned up because there's going to be an engineer running that. And then you also have to get your score and your parts all prepared in like Dorico or MuseScore, Sibelius, or whatever people use. Um, and yeah, sometimes the session that I just did was, I think, an hour. It was two cues, and you're the one that's conducting. So I had to also get a booth reader, which was one of my friends. And it's just a really great way. It was really stressful in the moment, but when you look back at it, it was just such a really fun way to get all the people that you think is talented into one place and create music.
Yeah, that sounds like so much fun to just
Yeah.
really, I mean, if you're studying music, you're just, damn, I forgot the word. Wait, let me, immersed. You're immersed.
Yeah.
So, everything around you, everything you do is music, right? And
Yes.
yeah, sorry.
No, no, no. I was agreeing with you. Like a lot of the things that we do is music based. So I think it's very important that people also find time to do things that are not music. Because it is very hard for musicians to separate that this is kind of a job, and it's something that you're passionate about. So you have to balance it in a way where you don't make it your whole life.
Yeah, I was just going to ask that how you're gonna spend your time other than making music if you have so much to do with music. Like there's so much to do in life in general, and just meet friends without music is like, or make plans, make trips, and get
Yeah.
a little distance to what you do all the time, so it's not an overload, but you seem to manage that quite well.
Yeah, sometimes it's really hard. I feel like sometimes you do get unbalanced. Like if there's a lot of, for example, it's midterm week, so I would usually go out and be with my friends, but you have to be disciplined and say, hey, I need to get all of these cues done. I need to get this cue sheet finished. I need to spend extra hours or stay up late to finish this. And that happens in the real world as well. When there's a deadline for a TV show, you're like, okay, I need to sacrifice the fun that I was going to have this weekend and just lock in and finish this cue because, deadlines are deadlines. So it is a balance, and sometimes it can get mentally exhausting. But you just need to balance it for sure. Because a lot of people here do burn out.
Hmm.
And it is very easy to burn out if you don't know how to balance and you don't know your burn rate.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
What do you think? How can someone find out their burn rate?
Um, I think it's just trial and error. Something that I used to do was during COVID, I would time myself to see how long it would take for me to write a cue. So I would say, okay, this cue is 5 minutes or this scene is 5 minutes. How much music can I write in 30 minutes for this 5 minute cue? And that kind of, first of all, that's like also a nice practice to have to get you writing faster. But I feel like if you know, like, hey, it takes me 20 minutes to write music for this 5 minute scene, I don't have that time right now. It's going to get me way more stressed if I have a tighter deadline to write that versus if I had more time. And then also it's just trial and error. I feel like there's a lot of times where I thought I could do a bunch of things, and it's like, oh my gosh, I can't. I'm very stressed. I need to ask for help. I need to, you know, get someone to help me orchestrate this. And again, another reason why it's so great to have people and friends here in the film scoring major and just at Berklee because a lot of people really want to help you out. So yeah, it's just trial and error to be honest.
That sounds like a amazing community to be in.
Yes.
When other people need help for their orchestration, I'd imagine that everyone in, for example, right now, the midterms, now everyone's stressed, right? And if you need
Yeah.
help now, it's probably more harder to find someone else to help you with something when they're also having their own exams that they have to take.
Yeah. Yeah. One thing about film scoring or being a composer in general, there's sometimes the stigma that we're very secluded and to ourselves. I feel like midterms is one of the main points where everyone is just by themselves because we're so stressed and because we have so many things to do.
Yeah.
So we try to help each other as much as we can when we have the time. But if we don't have the time, we always also have our professors to help us. They have office hours. There's tutors at Berklee. Um, there's people who help you with Pro Tools, with Cubase, and all of that. So we have different outlets for help when we need it, and we can't go to our peers. So it's just people need to utilize that a bit more.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Do you ask for help a lot?
Um, I think I should ask for help more than I honestly don't ask as much as I should. And why is that? That's a really good question. I feel like, a lot of people are busy and I feel like also it's really good to see how far I can push myself. I feel like that's why I am in the position where I am right now. It's just um pushing myself to see how far I can go and seeing if, okay, I need to be unbalanced, I need to be disciplined and finish this. And a lot of times I end up doing it, and I feel like when you push yourself to that point, you unlock a really, really big piece of yourself that you didn't know. Like you have so much more potential than you thought you had. And
Yeah.
obviously I love asking for help. If I'm really in a stick and I'm like, okay, man, I need to ask for help, I will. But I feel like it's a really great payoff when you invest in yourself and you're like, okay, I know I can do this, and you end up doing it. It's such a great feeling.
Yeah, most
Mhm.
definitely. Um, but when you feel like you are stressing too much and it's getting too much, how do you rebalance that you really regenerate? If that makes sense.
Um, yeah, yeah. I usually go to the gym. I feel like because we're creatives and we everything that comes to us is just from our brains and from our hearts. I am a big advocate on staying healthy, taking care of yourself. Sometimes I just right after I go to the gym or stay active or go for a run. And it's some of the best pieces of work that I've written. And like all the ideas start flowing. So when I feel like I'm in a rut or I have writer's block, I go for a run, stay active, and it usually helps so much. Another thing I do is I have an outlet for art that I don't try to perfect. So I love painting. I'm really not good at it at all. But that's okay. I feel like I need a creative outlet that I don't need to try to perfect or I'm not trying to make money off of. Because music, when I try to do that leisurely, it's really hard to separate the music that I do for my work and music that's just for fun. So I just try painting and it's really great.
Yeah, I get that. To really separate the music or what you do leisurely and the music that you do, it's like one is it's basically competitive, if you can say that. When you make music, it's
Yeah.
competitive because you
Yeah.
have so much knowledge and skills. You know how to really do the best, bring the best out of the music you write, and then to just do it like chilled is I think I guess it's different.
Yeah, it's very different. And it's like you catch yourself sometimes and you're like, just trying to noodle around and do something fun and you're like, "Oh my gosh, like I need to do better. Like this sucks." And you get so self-critical of yourself and you're like, "Wait a second, this was supposed to be for fun. Why am I being so hard on myself?" And that's happened to me so many times. So I still try to write music for fun when I do have the time, but I think for me painting has been more of a visual substitute for that.
Yeah, it's again an art. You can't really do anything wrong in art. You just
Right.
do it, and when there's no pressure, when you just paint, that's a great way to keep your balance.
I
And
agree.
let's I had a question about what's your tuition? Like in Berkeley, how much do you pay per year to study there? Because I I think like if you're in such a prestigious school, it must be pretty high, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. It is very expensive. I'm not sure of the price at the top of my head, but I know it did go up this year, and it has gone up like every year that I've been here.
Mm.
I guess for inflation or I have no idea, but it is around probably like I can't even make an estimate. But it's a lot. It's a lot. It's like either 60,000 or something like
For
that.
5 years for a master's degree.
No, that's for a year. Per year.
What?
Yeah. And then housing is like $20,000 a year. Staying at and you have a roommate as well. So so it's like staying in the dorm plus you get meal swipes and stuff like that. I'm an RA, so I work for housing, so I get free housing. And especially because you're an international student, I'm an international student, so our prices are higher versus people who are born in America.
Wow.
So it is a lot. So I try to get as many scholarships as I can and all the awards in the film scoring department to help. But a lot of people, unfortunately, don't get to finish. I've seen a lot of people who had to drop out early or have to take a gap year or a gap semester because they don't have the funds.
Mm.
So it is very sad because a lot of people are so talented, but Berkeley is just very expensive for them.
Yeah, but
Hmm.
that's one thing about the United States. You just have to pay for knowledge. And in
Yeah.
Europe or in Germany, it's not common at all. Like I pay 500 euros per month for my studies, and that's expensive. Like, and
Wow.
I'm at a private university, and so, but if you're in a public university, it's different,
Hmm.
and you don't pay that much. But so I think it's also affecting the mindset when you think, okay, education is more or less free. I don't have to pay that much, and there's easy access, if you can say that, that people don't really value what the teachers are teaching, basically.
Really? That's interesting.
Yeah, I think so. It depends. And also in universities, it's always the question, who is lecturing you? Is the person in front of you just someone who went to school and after school went to another school and then went to a university and then studied how to teach you? Or was this a person that went to school, went to another school, went to university, really perfected whatever they did in the market and really got to uh, gather real life experience and then came back to teaching?
Yeah. Yeah. That's the same with Berkeley. I feel like um even the name itself, Berklee College of Music, has a lot of weight in different places. And they know that value, which is why the tuition is so high. They are a private institution as well. But a lot of the teachers are very much active in the industry. And they have won awards like Grammys and Emmys and stuff. So it is really surreal to be taught by them.
Yeah.
Um, and so I guess I'm not saying that's going to make the amount of money it is appropriate because it is still a lot of money, but I feel like it really is just the name. It's kind of like a music Ivy League school
Mhm.
where people just hear that name and they're like, "Oh my gosh, you go to Berkeley," And that happens to me a lot when I say, "Oh, I go to Berkeley," and a lot of people's ears perk up and everyone's like, "Oh my gosh, that's so cool. It must be really great." It is, but it is very also very expensive.
Oh, wow, you go to Berkeley. That sounds like generational debt.
Yeah.
Wow. And you still have one more year to go to until you have your master's degree, right?
No, I'm graduating in May.
Oh, okay. So this your midterm is right now, and
Yeah.
then you have what's the other things called? I don't know how you differentiate.
Finals. Finals.
And what's before the midterms?
Nothing. So it's just
Oh,
like test and then the midterm big test and then we have some tests in between or projects in between, but then the final is like the final projects for all of the semester.
mhm. What's the task that you're given for the finals? What do they look like?
Usually, especially because we're seniors, it's a lot about these big projects, these big recording sessions, and having a bunch of projects to put in our portfolio. So with I'm just looking at the classes that I have. Um, so I have like, post-romantic scoring, so where writing pieces that are more with polyrhythm and chromaticism, free composing. So we're learning about that, and I think the final is going to be a big etude or a big score of all the stuff that we learned during the whole semester. We also have dramatic scoring 3, which is with the Shrek stuff that we're doing. So we
Mm.
probably are going to have a bigger project to work on and show the class. Um, what else? For our video game capstone, so I'm going to be doing a big session for a video game. We collaborate with USC, University of Southern California, and work with the game developers there and try and create a game for us to showcase to people. So it's a lot of building our projects and then pitching it to people so that we can hopefully find a job when we graduate.
Yeah, and you've already done a lot for your repertoire, right? Or resume,
Yes,
whatever you say.
yeah.
So,
Honestly, like I feel like that's the thing too. People have to focus on building because as a music student, a lot of people versus with STEM, with music, they don't really look at your transcripts unless you're trying to go to a master's school. But, a lot of people, when you're applying for jobs, they don't say, oh, what grade did you get in ear training? What's your grade in harmony? Like they don't really care. They more care about how you are as a person, all the technical skills that you got from Berklee, and how you compose music. So focusing on the big projects and making sure they're clean to pitch is way more valuable.
and how are you going to go about finding a job, or what would be your dream in the industry? What's your goal? Where are you going to head after Berkeley?
So for me, my goal is to go to LA and to honestly work as a composer for a company, also do freelance on the side. I feel like once you leave university, the first thing that you're doing is you're being a composer's assistant. So I have some really cool offers right now for the composer's assistant jobs that I'm thinking about, but realistically, I think I feel like I want to, yeah, just compose for a company. Um, but I really don't restrict myself. Like I have goals in mind, but with music and in this industry, a lot of things come up out of nowhere. So I'm really open to anything.
I heard that if you take a job as a scoring assistant, oftentimes they pay really, really poorly, or it's not really affordable for maybe, yeah, not rich people. Um, do your offers that you're looking at, are they really well paid and really they're worth your while, or is it like critical, but you want to take them to have even more proof of your skills?
So I feel like there's kind of a ladder for the film industry. Obviously, everyone starts out as an intern, doesn't pay well, probably are doing jobs that you don't want to do. A lot of people that I know, they pick up second jobs as well. They work at a cafe, they do something else because living in LA is very expensive.
Mm.
So I understand that if I'm going into a assistant job, which is more realistic. I feel like a lot of people don't just leave Berklee and become an Oscar-winning composer. Um, so you
Well,
have to
you
do
could be the first.
that. Thank you. But I think honestly, you have to do that rough work first. And what you get out of that is depending on who you're working for, they will start allowing you to write for some of their things, some
Mm.
shows, some TV shows, add you to the cue sheet so you start earning royalties, and eventually you get their skills, they mentor you, and then they obviously recommend you to other people. They start giving you more TV shows to work on. So it's kind of like an apprenticeship in a way. So you're just working up that ladder, building trust with that composer, building connections, and then eventually you're off your way. Some people don't do that though. Some composers who have assistants really want to keep that assistant at a certain level and not help them grow, which is very unfortunate.
Okay.
Um, so it depends. I know that some of the industry people are like, oh, this composer does that, this composer does that. So you just have to do your research with the company and who you're working for to see what their plan is for assistants and how they help them grow.
Hmm. All right. Yeah, that's the growth part is basically the most important part. And
Yes.
if some composers don't want their assistants to really get better after a certain time, that sounds crazy to me. Like that's
Yeah.
the mentality is I don't get it.
No, honestly, it is really hard. Um, yeah, and some people don't want to grow, I guess. Some people just prefer being an assistant and getting a nice paycheck. But I feel like a lot of us do want to become the next Hans Zimmer, or, the next best thing. So,
Yeah, big
we don't want
dreams.
to stay in the same place. Yeah.
Yeah, I can relate to that. But you said you would work at a company. As far as I have thought all the time, I always thought like, okay, you're a composer
hmm
and you work with a company and create the music for them. And not really, I know like at Riot Games, they have their own composers, but I or other big like probably Universal Studios or whatever, they have their own composers. But I thought most of the time when you do composing work that you work with the company and not for the company.
Yeah, you're right. Like for remote control and all that, they have their own composers. It's kind of um like a little group. EA also has the same thing as well. I feel like once you like for example Elon Estre, like he does Sims, and I feel like every time they do a Sims, he's going to be the composer. So when I say working for a company, I kind of think of it as my name being attached to something from their franchise.
Mhm.
I feel like that would be great because once you are known for writing the music, for example, Apex Legends, like Stephen Barton, when they come out with Apex Legends 2, 3, 4, 5, he's going to be the one that they call all the time. So that on top of freelancing as well, like, creating music libraries. So when companies need music very quickly and don't have money for original music, they can say, hey, do you have anything in your music catalog that sounds like this that we can just use for something? So yeah, there's a lot of ways you can make money with your music.
Yeah, I didn't really think of something like that. It never came to my mind that you can make like a catalog and then sell your music like that. Have you ever done that?
Yeah, so I've licensed my music. So it's basically called like sync licensing. So when you watch a show and there's like this random piece of music in there, it's not underscore. It's like um I don't know, like a Taylor Swift song is in a show, a Netflix show or something. So she licensed her music to that TV show. So
It's
every
like
time,
her catalog, her music
yeah,
and the
that's her.
latest.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So being a composer, it's like you're writing music in real time for this show that's about to come out. But
Mm,
when you are also in sync licensing, you can license a song again and again and again, depending
mhm.
on the contract, to multiple TV shows. So you could have written that music years ago, and they're like, "Hey, I really like this music. We want it in this show." So then you just rent it out to them. And every time someone watches that episode with your music in it, you get a royalty.
Yeah, I think royalty is probably the best kind of income just because it's
Yes.
not directly linked to the work that you put in. And there's already so much pressure on you when you have to when you have a deadline, you have to get this project done and you make a project and then it's just over, you're stressed about it, and you get your money, and then that's all. Like
Yeah.
it's good that the music industry has the royalty payments, because otherwise I think that would be tough.
Yeah, it would, honestly. Very, very tough. And I feel like it's kind of like an investment, you know? You
Yeah,
have
you
that one
spend your
song,
time
right?
and then you get residual. No,
Yeah,
doesn't is it
residuals.
called
Yeah.
residual? Yeah,
Yeah.
that's that's so great. Sorry, you see my vocabulary is kind of limited. I always thought like in school, like 13th grade, I thought like I'm the king of English. I know it all. I always had the best grades, not to flex, but I always had the best grades. And now I'm talking with a lot of English speaking people, like a lot of people in LA.
Hmm.
And now I really have to think, what do I want to say? How do I want to say it? And after listening to the first few episodes of the podcast, I was like, this is what I sound like. Oh my
Oh,
God.
no, you're doing great. Honestly, learning a second language is so hard, like especially English because it keeps changing. So pat yourself on the back. I'm actually going to Berlin in May for a couple days, and I'm so scared because I don't know any German.
But in Berlin, you'll be fine. Like, Berlin is also super diverse. I was
Mhm.
there once, and it was the weirdest experience ever. But anyway, there's so many different people and international. So you'll get very far with English.
I'm
That's for
excited.
sure.
Yeah.
How are you there for a scoring work, or is it just yeah.
Yeah. So, I'll be actually in Vienna afterwards because I'm going to be recording music at the Synchron stage with Red Bull. So I
Wow.
got this crazy opportunity to write cinematic music for one of their music libraries. So it's been going pretty good. It's just going fantastic so far. But before I go there, I do some work with orchestral tools. So I want to 100%. I've been working with orchestral tools for like maybe 2 years now, just on like content and making demos for their new libraries. And they're such a great team. They're such a great company. So it's well overdue to see them in person. So I may do content for them in person and get to see Berlin while I'm there. So I'm very excited.
That's amazing. I wonder, how do you make your music when you do it in a DAW, because or on a PC? Because I I'm working with like a big PC. I have it's normal. I'm not a laptop, but so many so far have said are working on a laptop or like a mini version of a PC that they can carry around with them, so they're not fixed to one location. I am fixed now because I can't take my PC with me to when I go study.
Yeah.
So how do you do it?
I think I'm the exact opposite because I don't have a PC like my own. I have just this laptop here.
Mhm.
Um, and I have some SSDs. I have like a 2 TB and a 4 TB, which has all my libraries and helps me with my workflow. But there have been some times, like recently, I've been working on very big projects, and the Cubase is like, oh, you need more memory and all of that. So it does get very frustrating. But the reason why I haven't been able to invest is because I'm at school. The libraries, first of all, have um, all these PCs and all these really big computers. So we're able to go in the labs and compose there. So I don't really need to have my own things right now because Berklee provides that for us. And also, as an international student, I move around so much. So until I know where I'm actually going to settle for maybe a year or two, at least, then I wouldn't get a PC because it's just so much to carry around, so much to set up. But I know when I graduate, that's something I'm going to for sure start investing in.
Most definitely, and really well. Like I built my PC myself because
Wow.
I thought like I'm gonna spend 1 grand on this thing. And if I buy it pre-made, then the company that made it, whatever, they're gonna have like 40% margin. And I
Hmm.
was like, I'm not paying for the 40% margin. I just built it myself. And then oh now I have a wait, now I have a very beautiful I used to game,
Hmm.
so now
Oh
I
my
have a rainbow
gosh, the
PC.
colors.
And it's like, oh, what in the front too, but like no one sees that.
Wow. That's very impressive. I could never build my PC. Like my younger brother is into that too. Like I think he tried to build something similar to that, but I have no concept of all of that.
Well, maybe you meet someone who can build a PC. Uh,
Yeah.
Maybe in Berkeley, maybe you have to go to a tech university. You know, for networking, you go to a tech university, and then you find someone who can build you a PC.
Yes, for sure.
Amazing. Um, yeah, we are closing in on half an hour left. So I would say let's go into some of your orchestrations that you did.
Yeah, no problem. I'm just loading up Dorico.
Dorico, is it something for writing notes or is it like Cubase or FL or whatever?
Oh, Dorico is like Sibelius
Wait, I
or like
heard the name, but I don't know what it does.
music. So it's like a notation software.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. It's funny because I
Oh.
think they're German. Like I think it's a German company.
Sibelius. How do you write it?
Dorico, Dorico.
Dorico. Dorico. The one for $100.
Yeah.
That sounds cheap.
Yeah, yeah. It's honestly, I think I don't know if it's subscription based. I'm not sure how they do it
Mhm.
right now, but they have certain licenses.
Yeah, I see. Here, Dorico 5. What's this for 500?
Yeah.
Dorico Pro 5. Okay, there's a lot of versions.
So let me share just one of the cues I did for Shrek.
Mhm.
Uh,
That's so fun that you're doing Shrek. And you also said like it's dramatic, right? So,
yeah, like dramatic scoring is what the class is called. So we have like dramatic scoring one, two, three. Um, yeah. So this is what it kind of looks like. I'll
mhm,
be posting the whole session on Instagram, most likely in like the next coming weeks. But there's just a lot of things that we got to do. So make sure we have the time code for the music when the music comes in for the
mhm,
video. Um, 1MO1, because the first cue, Shrek opening, we gotta make sure that everything is formatted correctly, big bar numbers, so that when you're conducting, you don't get lost. So this was a smaller score, just had some strings, which I recorded live. I recorded the flute live as well.
mhm.
And yeah, this is how we're taught to format most of it.
Wow, there's so much and I have no idea about anything yet. That's so amazing.
Yeah, it's very tedious. Like orchestrating, it's not my favorite thing to do. Obviously, I have to know how to do it because it takes a long time sometimes to orchestrate and get everything cleaned up. But it's a very valuable service to do because some people will just hire an orchestrator.
Mm.
And because a lot of people don't like orchestrating or they don't have time, they'll be like, here, take my project and orchestrate it for me, please. So it's a really good skill to have. So this is the one that I did.
And how do you know how it will sound like? Maybe stupid questions, but I have no, like about notation software, I have no idea and no
Oh,
touching
okay.
point so far. So how do you know what you're writing?
So, um, so the first thing, you can do two things. Just in general, when you're in Dorico, you can this is just an example.
Now I hear
You
it.
can hear it now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So every time you place a note down, you can hear it. And then there's also a play function as well here. It's kind of like a DAW, which is very smart for Dorico to do. So you can play the whole thing and kind of hear it. Obviously the sounds that they have isn't as cool as, orchestral tools or Spitfire, but it does give you a sense of how it would sound in real life. So if I were to do that and
Oh,
play it here, hopefully it works. Like the chimes don't sound how the chimes sound in the mock-up. But it's just a sense of like, okay, this is how the chimes are gonna be. So yeah, it's cool. You have that there. So yeah. And then you can also add in different sounds. So they have a note performer, which gives you better sounds for when you're doing your mock-up here and you don't have a DAW. Another thing you can do is just export your XML file or like the score file from Cubase into here. So you kind of have a baseline of what your score would look like. But usually you have to clean that up when you
mm,
export it. So there's a lot of ways, but yeah, it does take a long time though, because again, you have to like go here and put in everything, there's a
wow.
lot of
Yeah.
shortcuts you can do and tie it and all of that. So it's just how good you are with the program.
Mm. Since you have the musical background of playing the violin before, you probably learned how to read notes, and then it makes the whole thing easier. Obviously, you have to read notes because you have
Yeah,
to
yeah.
write them. But
Yeah.
I don't have any musical background, so I'm just learning the piano. Like I had
Oh,
my
okay.
first piano lesson yesterday,
Oh,
and
congrats.
yeah, thank you. And I have no idea about notes at all, so it's very fun to dive into that too. And all the connections, I don't know what they mean, or the little tail of a note. I don't know what they do,
Mm.
but it's really fun to get into that and really get to know more about it. But I mean, that's what it's like being passionate about music.
Honestly, yes. Like it is a lot. And even with me, like when I started violin when I was 12, I actually started very late compared to other people. A lot of people start when they're like 3, 4, 5 years old. So
What?
yeah. And and I didn't realize that until I got to a music school and everyone was so good and I'm like, oh my gosh. But yeah, so it does take a while. It's just time and dedication. But if you're passionate about it, you can really pull it off.
Do you also play the piano, or like really play the piano, or just for MIDI reasons?
I just play for just to help with my composing
Mhm.
and for MIDI. So I do know how to play the chords and all of that, but not like a virtuoso, you know,
Yeah.
a concert. No, no, no.
All right. All right. But I would kind of nearly expect it, but I mean, I guess the study is about composing and not about playing piano. So,
Mhm.
do you have like inspirations or people that really inspire your own music?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of composers like Emily Sankofa, Stephen Barton, Stephanie Economou, um, a lot of them I've had the privilege of speaking to and they teach me a lot of things and their music is amazing. I love just seeing a lot of people thrive, and I just love seeing everyone in the industry just have their wins. And anytime somebody wins, it really does inspire me to keep going. Um, and it's just great. Like the composer community, especially in LA, is really, really, really close, and they're all supportive of each other. So all of them really do ex inspire me.
What kind of music would you love to really do when you really score for a company?
I would love to do, I like animation, scoring for animation, and then I also enjoy um very much like hybrid atmospheric music as well. So that's the type of music I'm kind of doing for Red Bull. And
Mm,
that's very recent that I started doing that. And when I started creating it, it was very moving. And I really am excited for everyone to hear it. Um, but all in all, I just love um kids animation because you can get so creative with that, you know? Kids are so curious and they love new sounds and they love dancing to music. And there's a lot of kid shows that I used to watch that still I think about like Phineas and Ferb and
yeah.
SpongeBob, you know, their music is very iconic. So I would love to be a part of that in the future.
Oh yeah, I love that. So it's pretty much more going into the movie direction than the video game direction, but
Oh,
still,
don't yeah, don't get me wrong. Video game stuff, for example, Mario is another example, and all the Nintendo series. I used to play those so much.
yeah.
Wii, Nintendo, Zelda, Mario. Their music is very, very memorable and
Oh
very
yeah,
outside the box too. So any type of music like that, I would just love to do.
amazing. And how much do you think does network have to do with your jobs or getting new work and yeah,
Networking is a lot. Like I feel like it's a big part of what you have to do. Um, and there's a skill to it. But all in all, I see networking nowadays as just making new friends and making and meeting people that can add value to what you do and you can teach you things and you can teach them things. So it's kind of like not always you taking from people.
yeah,
It's what they can learn and either you take that and give back to somebody else or you're able to benefit them as well. And the people that I've been able to network with and meet and call like colleagues and friends have been amazing, so much fun. Even outside of music and what they do, even though they're really great at it, they are still very interesting and amazing people. So I always advocate to network, go to events, brag about yourself. A lot of the things that people do are so amazing and they don't even see it as that because I know a lot of people tend to be very humble and don't want to talk about their successes. But I feel like it's really cool to just be happy in what you do and happy about your achievements and being able to share it with a community that also supports you.
yeah. A lot of times we can exactly describe something that we're sad about or that's negative, a bad experience. We know exactly what was bad about this.
Yes.
But when we talk about good things, it's just, yeah, that was great. Or, yeah, I really liked that. And not really going into detail. Like, just imagine something bad that happened to you. You know exactly like how you felt, what the other person did in the detail. But when you do something good, it's just, yeah, it's good. It's very, I don't know the word, but very shallow.
Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
when you
Yeah, I
talk about
agree.
yourself more or what you do or what you find positive, what you really like, and really go into depth, that's something that's just it changes your energy and also what it shares a part of you. And when you share yourself, you attract the people that fit to you.
That is very said, well said. That was very beautiful. And I totally agree. Like when you are very positive and you're projecting that positivity out, you're only going to get positivity back to you. So I always advocate for that. And you know, the people that I've met online from posting, again, just highlighting the stuff that I'm able to do here and being able to share it with people who are also passionate about that, is just great. Like a lot of the opportunities and the people that I've met through that, I would have never been able to do without the power of social media.
I actually found you because someone else was sharing your GoFundMe. And I
Oh,
was like,
nice.
oh, yeah. I was like, oh, great. She needs help to reach her master's. And I was like, okay, let's see. Maybe I can donate something. And then I went to your page, and then the GoFundMe was already way up past the goal.
Yeah, that was like such a great moment for me. Again, like I said, a lot of composers don't know when to ask for help, and we should ask for help more. And in that moment, I was like, okay, I need to ask for help because I really do need this help, like, And with everyone all the connections I've made, it was really great for people to come together in the community that I've created, and help me out in that sense. And small gestures from everybody, they don't understand how much that really meant for me to be able to graduate. And it was like famous composers. There was people from my school. There were teachers, different companies. So it was really great. And it just showed me that being who I am and showing the music that I'm able to write really does pay off.
Yeah, most definitely. I
Yeah.
wish that for you that this continues in the future and that you have lots of success when you really start getting into the industry. But you're already,
Thank
I mean,
you.
you're studying and you're already in it. Like you're doing something for Red Bull. That's crazy. And all that you've already done, you're sharing it on your social media. It's so much, it's like a hybrid version of studying and really going out and doing the thing.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's the best way because the teachers say here, once you get to Berklee, your career has already started. Like some people will
Yeah,
focus on work and then they'll graduate and be like, okay, now I'm ready to start my career. Like, no, you have to start your career while you're juggling school. And it's hard. It's really hard to do outside work on top of schoolwork, especially because I'm double majoring. It's a lot. And find time for yourself, but you just have to because it really works out at the end
yeah, that's the most important thing.
to do. Yeah, it's a lot. But again, it's worth it. But I honestly, this has been so much fun. Like you're just really a great speaker and a great host. And it's
Thank
just been
you.
it's been great. I'm very happy that you're starting something like this. Keep at it. I know a lot of people who have tried to do something like this for composers and music people and they stop. But
Yeah,
podcasting and stuff like that is can really take off, especially when you get a certain amount of speakers and people interested. So keep going 100% with what you're doing.
I will. I thank you so much.
Oh, no
I
problem.
think the thing that I struggle with most is really finding the right words. But the more I do it, the better I get. And I'm really excited to see where this all leads and how much people I can collect to
Yeah.
share this one passion. And yeah, so thank you so much.
But thank you so much, Levi. And yes, we'll find another time to connect for sure.
Yeah, thank you, Ray.
Okay.
Have a great day, and I'll hear from you.
You
And you
too.
hear from me.
Bye.
Bye.